Hello and welcome to this Creo car body tutorial for the Scale Electrics in Schools project. On it we're just going to talk you through how we've been designing the cars in school. Okay, welcome. Today I'm just going to talk you through how to design a car body on Creo using an image off the internet for ease. Of course, if you're doing it with your pupils, you can get them to draw their own image and trace around that. So I've already set my working directory, so I'll just show you that again. So file, manage session, set working directory, and I'm just doing that first. And saved in that working directory is the side profile of the car I'm going to be using. So I've already done that. So to superimpose the image that we want to trace around, we need to go to View, Model Display, and click Images. Now, when that comes up, you want to press the Import button, and then I'm going to click on the front plane. And I'm going to navigate to my working directory, and I've got the side of the Ferrari that I'm going to use for this image. So it will then open up onto that image. We can resize and everything, so we'll do that next. So I'm just going to view this on the front plane. I'm going to just move the car roughly into position at the back there and then drag it forward. So it does take a bit of fiddling to get this right, and you're never going to get a perfect line up with the wheel arches and things, so it is a case of what is the best fit. So I always try and get at least one of the wheel arches more or less perfect, so I'm quite happy with that. It's not ideal, it's not 100%, but it's about as good as we're going to get. We might just extend that back a bit, just a little bit more there. Okay, so I'm going to position it roughly there. So I've got a little bit of overhang at the back there, but we can work with that. That will be fine. So I'm now just going to press OK, and that's going to put the image on there. And I'm now going to trace around this. Now, to do that, I'm just going to go back to Model and Extrude. I'm going to click on that front plane again. So I'm now drawing on the front plane. And originally I was quite tempted to do this with the spline tool and try and get the nice curves and everything to follow this contour as much as possible. It's far easier to do it with straight lines and add the rounds afterwards. So I'm going to click on the line tool and I'll zoom in just using the scroll wheel, and I'm going to go from the back, and I'm going to try and keep this reasonably, let's just go a little bit more up there, straight. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to ignore the top half of the car for the moment. So I'm going to actually create just the bottom half of the car here. Oh, made a mistake, so I'm just going to trim that line back. I want to come slightly down more on that angle to there. And I'll come across there. Now remember, this is not a perfect replica I'm going for. It's, as I call it, it's my interpretation of what the car should look like. So to the end, and then all I need to do, I'm just using my scroll wheel to zoom in and out here, just in case you're wondering, to the other side. And I finish by double clicking on the scroll wheel. I'm going to check that, so I just press the select button up there, it goes yellow. Middle mouse button will just spin that round, and I'm going to press OK. So the whole thing jumps out. We can drag it backwards and forwards and type in the correct numbers and things that we want. I'm going to lock it using the depth tool, the very bottom one, and click on this side here. So it's going to be exactly that size. Okay. So we've got our car there. It's quite blocky, as we said, and you could leave it quite blocky if that's the design they're going for, but it doesn't hurt just to round off a few of these edges. So I'm going to just click on the round, and I'm going to start rounding these off just to get me a bit more of the shape I'm looking for there on the car. So this is just going to help to soften the lines. Oop, just clicked off of it, so I'll just press the undo. I'm just going to try and soften off a few of these lines and make that a little bit smoother. We'll then try around the edge and see how much of a round we can get on there. So probably about that's the maximum I'd be happy with. So we've got that rounded off. I'll round off my wheel arches here. Let's see what we can get there with a wheel arch. You can see some of these rounds actually make quite interesting shapes and things. Sometimes not quite what you want, but so I'll just drag that down a bit less, so 4.5. I'll try the same on the back there. So I'm happy with both of them. Now I'm going to leave off doing any other rounds for the moment, because what I need to do next is get the roof in place. So it's back to extrude, click on that front plane again, and all I'm going to do is pick a point in this grey area, so below the top. It's probably normally easier, and we're just going to put on that roof, bring it down and connect the two bits back up. You can press OK, and this one I always do by eye. I'm just going to click on that node there, and I'm going to drag this in until I'm happy with the roof. So that's there. Again, the same process as before. I'm going to look to round off some of these curves. So just smooth this off as much as we can. So that gives me a nice shape for that. And again, the same. I'm going to round off the edge there. And if you want, you can also add around the base there. And then press OK. Now, before we do anything else with these rounds and things, because it might get a little bit too tight in places, I am actually going to shell the car. So I'm just going to reverse it round to the other side. I'm going to click on shell and click this edge here. I normally do them about 2mm. So that's going to round off there. So we've now got a hollow car. So that is the basis for the car. You can then spend as much time going and rounding bits off as you want. It really is up to you how much you want to round these things off. And play about with doing these rounds, etc. So sometimes they work, sometimes I don't like that one. So to fix something like that, I'll press cancel, and what I will just do is I'll just round that with probably a 1mm round, and then hopefully, if I now want to round this edge so it's in both of them, we can get a round on the back there. And you can spend hours refining your model, but if you want something as a quick model that pupils are going to engage with and be quite happy with, that's how we've been doing it to get them quick results. So again, I'll just do a little bit on the front here. I'm not going to waste lots of time. I'm just going to try and make it look a little bit prettier. So I think this will be the last one we do. Is it going to let me put a round in there? There's a slight round. 2.5 in there. So all that's left to do now is to do an extrude. It's up to you if you want to cut the windows out, you can do that. But the main thing is just to extrude out the wheel arches. So I'm going to press extrude on the front again. And I'm going to project part of the wheel arch. So I click on project, I'm going to click the inside of the wheel arch, down on both sides. Same with the front one. And I'm going to project that line in the centre there as a reference. So I'm going to draw all the way through with that one and out past the other side. So I'm creating a big box around this and I'm making sure it's all linked up so that now when I delete my lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can press the select button, it's all going to turn yellow, so when I press OK it's going to come out and I can remove the material. Now from that point there I'd now mirror the part. It does leave a flat bottom on it for the moment, and again I've done that intentionally so you can design your chassis around that part. So all I'm going to do now is to finish this model off is to go to the very top, the blank block, click mirror and click that front plane again so I get the two sides to my car. And to finish off I'm going to go back to view, model display, images, click on images, find the one I want, so the Ferrari, and turn it up to 100%, which will remove the image. Now I am just noting that I might want to make my extrude a little bit longer. Now this could go horribly wrong or it could be fine, so we'll just see what happens if I change it to 15. Okay, so it survived on a 15, so it's just made that look a little bit wider. Okay, so that's it. It's up to you what you do with that model now, if you want to put windows and things in it, but that should give you a decent quick tutorial on how to style a car. Thanks for watching.